Oh, goodness. Good morning. It's very interesting. I've just got to go over to turn that one off. It certainly has been an interesting morning. Hold on. I've been out and watered garden because it's going to be a hot day. That's what the forecast is. Good morning to you, Miss C. Lovely to have you here. Periscope, wonderful. I don't have many popping in, so it's lovely that you've shared your hello. I'm very pleased about that. Thank you. Now that's on the ECAM side. Yeah, it's afternoon for you there. We're on the morning of the 24th of January. It is the Sunday morning here, so it's wonderful to have you here. Good luck with your, having the rest of a lovely day too. Yeah, you know what I mean. Anyway. So now, Miss C, you probably won't see these comments because I'm going to put them up on the Be Live side because I do the two simulcasts at once with two different platforms. So hi, Marie. This is a general card spread reading that I do every morning around the 8 o'clock. And good morning to you, Trina, too, one of my wonderful regulars. So, Miss C, you're saying I showed up in a recent live. Yeah, I seem to get out and about sometimes with the Periscope out to the beach and the whatnot, but I do this regular morning one for me, morning. So it is every day. It's not too many that I've missed now, so... But this morning I had a bit of a interesting experience in getting into my eCam. Those who don't do live streaming, look, it wouldn't bother you at all, would it? But it's going to not be quite as smooth as usual because for some reason in the latest update, I've lost my hotkeys for switching screens. And because I do this via into the feed it into the Be Live, it's going to reflect on that as well. I usually just have two keys that I hit and it'll swap the screens. At the moment, because of whatever setting I've lost, I have to actually lower these things myself, like turning off the music by Terry Lee Britton, wonderful musician. I am going to leave my website here because that, that one, my rosboundy.com.au website is actually being migrated to a new, new server, new hosting type thing. So it's not available, may not be available. So what I've done is press that. See my finger moving along that, giving you a bit of contrast at the back. Oh, that looks nifty. There's some tricks in that. I could have had it as a crawler too, but anyway, my finger crawled along it. Okay. Mary, good morning to you. Wonderful to see you here. Now, Tracy, we've got Tracy here over on the Be Live side. Good morning. And Diane, wonderful morning. Well, it is, although it's muggy and hot outside already. I will need to be going out to pick some more peaches shortly because they are in their ripe stage and ready to fall off a tree. So I'll pick them. Needing to get into this reading, I've got a different layout. Now I've got to try and think, which way do I do this? Because I've got to do it manually. So there's the spread. What I need to do now is swap it round so that it's that way. And that shows up fine that way. Yes, good. And I can actually make myself a little bit bigger in that so that you can see my beautiful face. Here we go. I have got the different card spread this morning. I just decided to lay down the 9 because it's a Sunday and we can spend a little bit more time on a spread reading, can't we? These are the deck. This is the deck, and these are the cards that I'm using this morning. It is Rana George's beautiful Lenormand deck, and the artwork is by a Callie L. French. I like to acknowledge the full realm of contribution to this beautiful deck. Callie's done the artwork. Now, I don't know these people personally at all. I just love the deck. Someone showed it to me. I had to get my own. So we'll enjoy what the cards have to say with us from here. Now, we've got up the top, the way that I read these, it's pretty much past, present, future type, but it's for today. The energy that I'm reading is for today. There might be a little bit of next week, tomorrow, whatever in that column there. But, it's what we all read into it, what we feel are our messages as we're receiving, tuning in and receiving those messages from spirit. So do the same for yourself. Tune in, turn it on like the switch, whichever country you're in. I'm in Australia, we go from the top down is the on switch. I think in America it might be the bottom up. I don't know. In whatever way, turn it up, turn your dial up, tune in, and have that intuition and those messages work for you. Okay? And besides that, it's good practice. So, what we've got here in this column, we have the book, we've got the anchor, and we've got actually, I'm not sure which one that one is. 13, I think, is the child. I'm going to have to get my book out because I'm not quite sure. You'd think that after the couple of years I've been using the Lenormand deck with the numbers and everything that I'd have memorised them by now. No, I don't. It is child. So we do have the child there. So it's a child playing marbles. I'll actually pick that one up for you. See if we can see that detail under the camera. You see that? And the card 13, oh, what a shame that it takes too much to actually get that one focused. The gilding does that, and you can see my shadows. Look, there's all sorts of things that are no-nos for live streaming here, but who cares? We can still enjoy what the message is. So the books, there's been a lot of learning and settling in, anchoring, finding where is your strength, where you're needing to actually drop that anchor. And of course, we do grow from being a child into an adult. So it's more that childlikeness that we're looking at in this is where we've come from, because if we're looking from our past, of course, these are the influences that are going to be here ready for our now, that present moment that is there. So what we've got, the books are the learnings, the knowledge, and it brings to mind what we've also written as well, because in times gone past where I really needed to dig deep into my inner self and learning for myself what I really wanted to have in my life, what goals I might have had, and it was big decision times and things like that. I would actually write a journal, and I'm sure many children have actually written a Dear Diary type of book, notepad, anything like that. It's where it started for me. It was almost that I loved reading books. I'd be up into the night when it was school time. I'd be up into the night 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning with a torch under the bed sheet so that no one would see or hear me reading. Not that reading is noisy, but I think I just didn't want to be caught out that I was doing something that, I was supposed to be asleep, and it was school mornings and the rest. Many, many, many times that I, as the child, would be under the bed covers reading books. And it did grow into what was, and I don't do it as much now, but what was those Dear Diary type of writings and poetry and some, I did write little short stories and things like that. I still do enjoy the thought of the writing, but haven't got the time I used to. I'll probably need to. Here's what some of that past is bringing forward for today. Anchoring in what, and this was part of those decisions that I'd made as far as what was I searching for, where did I want to drop my anchor for the stability of my life at the time. That would have been, there's moments like that all the way through our life. Actually, which way do I do it? To be left to right there. So that what we're needing to do in our past, everybody would have done it at some point, but just in different forms of thinking in your life, what do I actually want to have out of life? And in whatever form we'd written it down, it could be just a memory in our heart space that we've written it down as, and finding that anchor that gives us the stability for where we are right now. Each of those moments have their special time in our life that, it is relevant. The most important part, though, in life really is the now. So that we've got here, I'm just trying to see what number, I think that's bear. These deck of cards, I haven't had the bear come up very often when using these. They are a fairly new deck for me, so I'm still becoming familiar with them. That's bear. Here we've got the lady or the woman, and we've got the rider. So it's present moment, and because it's me who put the energy into the cards and the rest for today's reading, it is that central card being the focus. I do feel it is talking more especially to me as a woman. But for those of you who are watching, even replay or whatever, that are the men, it's probably speaking to you about that more feminine side, the nurturing side. Bear really is a strong characteristic in the work factor and getting things done, moving things forward in that, I would say survival mode, sort of. But it's also it's looking after the environment, where it is, knows where it is, it can handle anything type of thing. So there's a great strength in that. And here we've got the woman, but it's the start almost of this present moment. This today is the start of a new journey, and we are going to have that message because the writer is about the message. The messages we get, the communications, in the form of letters or whatever, it brings to mind the old way of when it was only horse and carts, of that being the way that we got our post and things that were delivered and that sort of thing. So it is being open and aware, open to what are the new messages. And yes, there is some work needing to be done. I'm feeling it is on that more inner self-nurturing space. Here is that soft feminine nurture characteristic energy that's needing that. It's time for me today in this column, in this reading. So that's where I'm feeling, have that special something that's just for you. And it's not being self-indulgent, self-centered, but it is nurturing and looking after yourself. Tell yourself those beautiful self-affirmations and things like that. Give yourself that message of love. Look at all those hearts. It's the 9 of hearts. The part of the journey that's almost to completion, the start of the journey, the part of the journey that's almost to completion, ready for the next. Sort of. It is a rolling cycle of what we're receiving, listening for, receiving, and then expressing it outwards. Here in this column that I'm looking at as sort of the future, just possibilities for what's coming, is here we've got the second lady card, because remember yesterday I would have mentioned that the Rana George has the extra cards. With this, we haven't got the man one in here. Sorry, we had the 2 men yesterday, I think it was. And now we've got the 2 women. So this is bringing it more into that up upstyled, contemporary now type moment, but bringing that into the future. So bringing in some new ideas, something that's got a little bit more that's your own and unique, rather than what is the historical past gathering, what we've got in our gene pool, what we've got in our DNA and all the rest. This is extending it to what we discover for ourselves in that femininity, in that gentleness, the looking at what may be a shadow side that brings forward to the light what we're going to express next. All that we do is the learning. So we've got the tower and the mountain here, two very high peaks in different regards, looking at what we're going to be doing that's a little more pointed, and taking those challenges that is the mountain in stride. We have the strength of the bear in this today, so that we can know that whatever it is that we're going to find as the challenges in the mountains, we're going to reach that peak. We will see that beautiful view that's on the other side and be able to climb to whatever peak or goal or challenge, what we're wanting to achieve. So in whatever way that's going to mean something for you, take that, I wouldn't say the bull by the horns, but take that energy that is you in that more right now type, with all those fresh ideas, the newness of you, those bits that you're discovering, and you climb that mountain, reach that goal. Look at it in all its positivenesses in the challenges. Just going to put that there instead of waving it around. In those challenges of now I've got to find where I was. Sorry, I just wanted to change that around. And that makes it a bit different, doesn't it, with the circle there? I'm going to change it around again. And then I'm going to go like this. Just discovering the different ways I've got to use this until I find where those hotkeys went. I actually like that. Hang on, let me go back to that and swap it round. I think we'll just leave it there and finish it on that note. I think it's just a weird, look, sometimes the surprises that we find in our days, because, I could hardly walk when I got out of bed this morning because I did so much yesterday. The preparing fruit and all the rest, the dehydrator, the watering the garden, and up and back, in and out, inside, outside, doing so much more than what I usually do. And, you sort of find, yes, there's so much that I'm doing here on the computer, and it's rolling through with, the bits and pieces that we do automatically without thinking, and, upgrade different bits and pieces and find something, with the update, something isn't what it was, like it was yesterday. Okay. So tune into those differences. Don't be fazed by them. It just means that there's going to be that little bit of that nice challenge. It's a gentle move into something that's a new discovery. Be gentle with yourself is what I'm trying to say. So nurture that self. You are the center of your world. It's not a selfishness to actually know that, acknowledge that. What we are needing to do in that focus, in that perspective, is understand where we are in the jigsaw puzzle of what life is really and what humanity is, that we can be that unconditional love for others, for ourselves too. And that does take some nurturing and journeying within to be able to put that out and help others in their own journey as well. We're here to be in relationship with other people. Otherwise, we would be sitting on a rock in the middle of in the middle of somewhere or something with absolutely no person around us. And what a lonely life that would be. Loving and learning from each other. Isn't it really bliss to be alive? So I think it does. Right, Diane, yes, it does sound exciting for the future. There's so much that we can be a part of in each other's lives, and there's so much too that we can actually be as ourselves, as to spend that time with self so that we integrate and learn. It's not just about being continually out there and interacting with other people. It's not just about being the hermit too, because I'd happily be a hermit at any point in time. It really is though that we can learn from each other and living a life that has an abundance of connections in. Yeah, it's hard to explain without doing, isn't it? So keep being the best you in whichever way that you live your life. Whoever you have around you, cherish and love those that are around you. Even sometimes when things don't feel like they're going right, it is actually right because it's part of what we're learning in our life right now too. It's part of the journey. So now for those of you who are in the Be Live, I've just put up one of the little selling, what do you call it? That thing. My $30 one question, 3-card reading. Because I do have some spaces for readings and I love doing them. So I thought, well, today I'm actually going to put that there so that the link is it's on the YouTube and it's on the mytimetv.live page. I'll actually physically go and put it into the other channels that I'm going through to, and that'll be, it doesn't have to be a booked in one-on-one thing. I can do that like I'm doing here and just record it. You just give me your question and I do a reading for it. And it's, what do you call it? I do it as a YouTube, private YouTube, and send you a link afterwards. So that's how that works. So whatever your day brings you, have a wonderful day. Keep cool if you're in the South Australian, the Aussie heat. Keep cool as much as you can, especially keeping hydrated, because I noticed myself yesterday I wasn't drinking enough water. So in whatever way that you can make yourself feel comfortable, having a lovely time. I'm going to end a Sunday, for those of us a Sunday, and those that are a Saturday afternoon, like Miss C's, enjoy your day enjoy the weekend in whatever way that you can in creating that blessed abundance about you and sharing with others. So be the best you that you can be. I'll be here tomorrow morning at, that's a 7:30 one. And yeah, I might pop in again later this hour. Who knows? Namaste.